Yeah. So I told you like I wanted to start this before, so we can be the first thing that pops up on Twitter instead of
Oh, true.
the graphic.
Is that not happening this time?
Not happening this time at all.
Well, we're live.
I know. I designed it that way.
All right.
Te estás preguntando, ¿are we going to go on Instagram? No, practice.
Pew, 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 pew.
Hola, cachorros. Wherever tomorrow.
Próxima estación. Whatever tomorrow.
All right, we're going to get the show started.
Y vamos a comer.
Did you see that Cristiano Donaldo returned?
Who?
Cristiano Donaldo.
Who's that?
It's a whatever tomorrow character.
Oh, for us?
La Pelusa Caligari, you never watched?
No, I don't think I watched that one.
No eres mexicano. All right, we're going to get started.
And shorts, and surf, and scuba, and sand, and sailing, and soccer. San Diego, California.
Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 214. We're back here on a Monday. We're going to have a lot to talk about. A lot of soccer in San Diego. San Diegans in soccer. Both ways are true. This is the way. Welcome to the seasonings of the suchlings of the season. Once again, we're going to go ahead and talk about Joe Corona, Brandon Vazquez coming back home. That was a very interesting conversation I had with the two of them. I'm going to walk you through the worst day that I've ever covered soccer. It was terrible.
No,
over which
not in San Diego.
Absolutely. I am very much a San Diego homebody. With that regard, we're going to go ahead and wrap up a little bit of the conversation that happened with Casey Stoney. We're going to bring on our friend Abe Cepeda, your new friendly neighborhood San Diego Punto Football and writer.
You're very into Spider-Man right now.
I've been saving New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, for as long as this podcast is going, crime is happening in New York. And I can do nothing about it, but it's okay because we have a lot of people seasoning.
It's gonna be a short episode, so Tony can go save New York.
No, I'm tired, bro. We're also gonna go ahead and talk about Casey Stoney, like I said, and the Women's World Gold Cup. Here, the semifinals are set for San Diego. How many people are going to be there? Is it going to be a good game, good attendance? Will the final be Mexico contra USA?
Oh, that'd be sick.
March 10th. We're going to go ahead and talk about SDFC. The Chrome Ball Tour is in Santee. Next one up, the Chula Vista one is going to be the one that's going to be circled, but we're also going to take a preview as to see what those games are going to be. The snow game in the MLS. I hit up Nate Miller, Coach Nate Miller. We do have perhaps an upcoming Miller time with assistant head coach for RSL, Nate Miller. So shout out to that. All right. Yeah. We want to welcome everybody who is making the time of day to come in and welcome everybody who's here on a cold Monday.
It is super cold.
Yeah, no, it's pretty rad. And we're also gonna, everybody's favorite new segment, El Juego Bonito, where people can send us goals, gaffes, greats, whoever they think deserves that honor here at San Diego Punto Football. I actually awarded
Soccer League is gonna start sending videos too.
Yeah, so watch out. I actually awarded a goal of the week to friend of the podcast, Joe Benny Corona. I kind of took him by surprise. I'm like, at the end, I'm like, hey, you just won the San Diego Punto Football Goal of the Week. So spoiler there. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. He was like, I won the what? I was like, the San Diego Punto Football goal of the Week. It's a great honor. Like, it's a
do you
great
not
honor.
keep up, bro? Come on, Joe.
It's a great honor to have that.
Que
But
lo empiezan y mete gol y ya se cree la gran cosa, ¿no?
will you have Nate explain why he yelled at you? Says Jeremy here. Nate Miller, head coach of San Diego Loyal last year.
They yelled at you? When was that?
I think it was a day that.
I know exactly when.
Yeah, so I mean, I could tell it now, right? I think I've told it. Maybe
It was like early in their seasons.
super early first year, and again, we're learning, we're exploring what the lines are. Like there was a point where, again, the great and powerful Abe Cepeda will laugh at us and be like, "Bro, that was journalism 101." Where it's like, "Hey, wait, can I like release the information of the official communication on the email? Like, is that okay to share at this point, or hold off?" Just because we were, exploring, and it turns out that Nate Miller is very strict about when you can record stuff during practices, as most coaches are. But there was like a clip, the 2-second clip of somebody running down the wing. That's it. Posted it. The communications director at the time, Jesse Beltran, now working for San Diego Wave, shout out Jesse, was getting a haircut. He was mid haircut, and he gets notifications on his phone. Nate Miller's like, quoted our tweet, took a screenshot, sent it to him. He's like, "What the fuck is this?" And immediately, obviously, doing his job, I get contact. He's like, "Hey man, you got to take that down. Like, you can't do this." But I was like, "Okay, cool. Lesson learned. Sorry, Coach Nate." And then next time we just kind of had like, "Oh, hey," like just a little catch up. But that's gonna be interesting to talk about.
Why would you even do that, man? Come on.
No sabía, güey. Vato, no sabía.
Qué vergüenza, vato.
But yeah, another education was over this last Wednesday, because Monterrey came to play against the Cholos, and something that we were circling is getting Brandon Vazquez.
We're looking forward to going to that game. We're looking so forward to going to that, and I didn't get to go.
You had a successful futsal tournament for the youth.
45 teenagers come through to my soccer event. Thank you, anyone that shared that. That was awesome.
45 teenagers coming.
That was a great turnout. Shout out to Chula Vista Pickup
for work wise. Yeah, shout out Chula Vista Pickup. Check out their Instagram, Chula Vista Pickup Soccer, for when they are active in the community. But yeah, so I went over to this Cholos game, right? And then según yo, I left early, and I was gonna make it.
I told you.
I left early, and it took me
an
hour.
What's early?
At 5. The game is at 7.
That doesn't matter.
The game is at 7.
Wait, te dije, te tienes que ir a las 3, vato.
I have work to do. I care about my work, unlike others in my office.
Yeah, you don't care about anything.
Yeah, no, I would have had 120 teenagers in that event. Had I ran it. You know what? I might just do that.
619 Soccer said, looking forward to a Cholos game. Laughing emojis.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Looking forward to seeing Brandon Vazquez
covering it.
Coming to San Diego.
And this is the first time that I've gone solo on a mission like this. I went solo the whole time. No, I was chilling. I'm a fish in water. It's sewer water because it was raining.
It's okay. I'll go next time. I know you get scared.
It's enough of you.
You get intimidated by mix zones.
So I've never been to the mix zone, right? So shout out to our good pal who also covers the Gold Cup and is part of the tapestry of soccer coverage here in San Diego, Francisco Velasco. Check out his TikTok. Great stuff there. Some say we look like brothers. Some say no. What?
Oh shoot! Yeah, you guys do. Damn.
Hey, Abe, can you give us a nod if we look? See, no.
All right.
He says no. He says no. But no. So shout out to him, because I kind of said like, "Hey, dude, like when I get there, I'm gonna need your help. Just kind of do that." Long story short, I got there at halftime of the game, so that's not good to begin with, and so kind of made my way down there and sat. There was accidents. There was everything. It's just like terrible getting there. And I left the camera batteries charging that I had the whole way in the car. And so we couldn't use my camera or microphones. So great. So I have my phone charged. Okay, we'll go that way, right? And so, we go down, and then Joe obviously scores his goal.
Wait. You still set up the camera, huh? Like if you were.
No, I was sitting down in the press box, and then gonna set up the camera, and then I just turned it on. I just I shouldn't have even taken this out, because now it looks like, what is he doing? Why is he recording with his phone? He has a whole camera set up. Like, it's stupid, and like 100%, I deserve all of that. So Joe Corona scores un golazo. And so we knew that was somebody who was gonna be highlighted. Game ends, get walked down to the mix zone. Mix zone is, as you guys see it, it's not as glamorous as people think, and it's really, really interesting, just kind of what a little coat of paint can do. But one thing before anything that I want to definitely mention is that shout out to all the reporteros, todos los reporteros que vienen de Tijuana, todos los reporteros que van de aquí para allá, de allá para acá, pinches mil respetos. Like, to have to do that every single day, to come and cover sports and soccer here in San Diego, is not a small feat. And I was humbled and reminded that this is a lifestyle that people depend on, and pues, mil respetos. Like, everybody who's there, Pony was there, who did San Diego Loyal commentary in Spanish. Guzman, just a bunch of people who are there and do this for a living. Like, mil respetos. So we're in the mix zone, and then Joe Corona passes, and then he like looks up and sees me. He's almost like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing here?" Like, hey, ¿qué onda, qué onda? Hey, ¿qué onda, vato?"
At least
Like,
he
hey,
remembered you.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, of course." While we're waiting for the players, let it be known that people came up to me like, "Hey, tú jugaste con Guido, ¿verdad?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
Okay, dude, relax.
Okay, that was a legit conversation I had.
With
¿Quién
who?
sabe quién es? No sé quién es el vato. But he knew also that
they listened to the podcast.
We went to high school with Joe. But I'm like, "Hey, un minuto, yeah, un minuto, whenever you can." And he went in, ate his breakfast, and his post match meal, and then came out. So let me just pull that up, and it was a really good conversation and an awkward little thing at the end. And it's interesting just being able to speak English here. And it felt so weird because growing up, I was always told, no hables inglés cuando estás en México. En México se habla el español. Y ya, like, because you don't want to be like,
nah, you needed that English coverage.
Well, yeah, 100%. But here is Joe Benny Corona after that match.
To this stadium and score a goal like that, man.
It's always special for me to come back home. A team that I love deeply. This is my first time playing back at Caliente, so I'm super happy for the goal, but a little disappointed with the result.
And what can you say about the level? Coming back from USL, playing in the MLS. What can you say about the level now, coming back to Liga MX?
The level, of course, we know Liga MX is always high. It's a very competitive league. I thankfully have the experience from years back. It always feels good, to be in such a demanding league.
How do you feel your level has been? How are those legs here in this last season?
No, I feel good. I've been working hard since preseason, trying to gain some minutes. I'm just happy that I got to play today, and hopefully we can keep on.
And you won goal of the week with San Diego Punto Football. How does that make you feel?
¿Qué?
You won goal of the week for San Diego Punto Football with that.
Oh, thank you.
Le valió madre esa cosa. No manches. Digo, ¿qué güey? Me vale madre, guato.
I was waiting for him to just like, "Oh, really? Oh, man, thank you, bro."
Come on. That's Joe Benny Corona, dog.
So Joe Benny Corona on that. And
Brandon Vazquez didn't score in this game, though.
Brandon Vazquez does not score in this game.
Has been a scoring machine, 5 in the league already. I think 1 behind Pocho Guzman in the gold table for Liga MX, but he's tearing it up going to Mexico. I mean, I had a friend hit me up and was like, "Hey, dude, you were right about your boy. He's legit. Like, he's freaking good." And yeah, I mean, he's tearing it up, man.
And so I was the first one there to ask Joe Corona this question. So then obviously he scored the only goal for Cholos in that match. So he's going to get asked by all the other medios de comunicación, all the other outlets. So then I asked my question, I stepped back, and everybody filled in, and I move to the left side of the scrum.
Wait, before we talk, who was the one that bet? Like, what report was it, Pony?
It was Pony.
Pony. Oh, man, dude. He hit
So
that though.
it's a viral clip. So
he hit that.
he and
Who would
I
put
don't-
Joe
I mean,
Corona to score?
he put it up on socials, and you can hear his voice, and it is what it is. But like, I don't know what the
That's great
legitimacy of that shit is.
That's
'Cause
great content.
It's not like he's betting of like, oh, like he's gonna score the moment he scores, he puts that bet. No, like he put a bet before the match that he would score.
Yes, I know. That's how it works.
No, I know that, but like, again, I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't know what the logistics are of betting in Mexico.
It's Mexico. It's
Yeah,
fine. No.
100%.
You're allowed to sports bet at Caliente. I'm not gonna plug the website, but the Caliente has a website,
Yeah.
so you can.
Don Cancron doesn't need more money.
Yeah, no. So it's legit, and if he hit that, that's freaking crazy.
Octavius in
Props,
Instagram
props.
is asking, do you guys ever do this in Spanish? We can.
Por
Si alguien,
supuesto, lo que es cambiar español.
si se quieren poner las pilas, la radio, radio oyentes, pues sí, hablamos en español.
Me cagas.
Tenemos a...
Madre, Pablo, español, güey.
A ver, tú.
¿Qué vato? Ponte, a ver. Brandon Vázquez, ¿qué dijo? ¿Qué le preguntaste?
Entonces me hice para el lado.
Ujú.
Todos querían a Brandon Vazquez también porque es el
Sí,
morro
güey, es el
local,
morro,
regresa a
morro,
Cholos,
sí, güey.
coming back after 9 years. And so I knew that he wasn't going to
Stop for you.
stop. So the way I got him, like, cool, I have the English in the back pocket. So he's walking. It's like, oh, Brandon. He's like, well, no. And he's walking in front of me, and I'm like, hey, Brandon, for San Diego. Like, I did the most, hey, Brandon, for San Diego. Hey, bro.
He stopped.
And he stopped.
Hell yeah.
And he stopped.
I love that.
And this is what I'm about to play in a bit here.
Mhm.
Is that interview after I stopped Brandon Vazquez.
Brandon Vázquez.
Experiencing this season so far.
Yeah, it's a different style of play. You know, the intensity here is amazing. It's always keeping you on your toes, and you got to adapt to the teams you play against. You know, I think with Monterrey, I'm getting a lot of opportunities in front goal, and the players around me are creating chances for me. So it's been a lot of fun playing with them.
And is it ever a dream to maybe come back to the region and play against the new SDFC in those coming years, or with perhaps?
And that's a little teaser. And he said, you know, sure, maybe my commitment is still with Monterrey.
Dude, he's making great money in Monterrey, but
100%.
if SDFC is willing to pay more, I can definitely see him. You know, I don't see him going to Europe. I think he's becoming a late bloomer of its own. I think he's a great quality striker, but is a European team going to see him and say, oh yeah, let's bring him in? He has the qualities, he has the physicality for it. But ideally, do you see him going? I see him going more back to the MLS. Unless 2026 World Cup, he just pops off and he becomes a starting striker and he gets 3-4 goals in the World Cup. Then I can see him then going to Europe.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen in the coming tournaments before the World Cup, Copa America. It's going to be interesting to see, because again, if he's worth it, pay him, pay the man. If you want to fill Snapdragon, that's a name that you can definitely come in with. But again, it's a system that they're playing with Right to Dream and just everything that goes along with that. So I don't know. Tough to say right now. Also last week, and then one last thing before, you're like, oh, that wasn't too bad, Tony, for your Cholo trip. I get out of the stadium. Oh, because I had to park outside the stadium because the stadium parking was full. So I had to go park at the mall next door.
Oh, por el Calimán.
Galerías, yeah. And so, great, fine. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. We got the interviews. It's posted. I'm just going to go. Tacos de Frank. Me voy a comer unos tacos. Y me voy a regresar. And I get there. And they're like, no, ya no hay tacos. Se acabaron los tacos. Because it was like 10:57. They were probably going to close at 11.
So you went to Taconazo?
And no, I was just defeated. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the border. And I'm just going to get myself una torta Johnny.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I get to the border. Y no hay línea. And like there's línea, but there's not a lot of it.
Sí,
and so I finally find a torta Johnny guy. I'm like, hey, wait, dame dos especiales. Una para ahorita y una para el desayuno. And so, sí, jefe, and choom, dashes wherever, disappears. Same moment, La Línea takes off, and I lose him. I don't get my tortas either. So, I don't think I told you that.
No, didn't know that.
So thus ends a tragic, fruitful but tragic trip to TJ.
I love that. For you.
Yeah, no, that's
Wow, that made my day feel so much better.
Um,
That is crazy. But yeah, I mean, it was a 1-1 match for Cholos against Monterrey. Brandon Vazquez homecoming, but we had quite a busy week. You went to TJ, you did that. We had Casey Stoney on as a guest on Friday.
So that was pre-scheduled, and you know what? We spoke it into existence. Every time we speak about, a match or an interview that's going to happen, it doesn't happen. Like those are the only times that we've ever been canceled. That we've ever been, and it's been like 3 times that we've mentioned it before, and it just doesn't happen. And so this time, I'm like, no, I need to change the luck. Like I need to get people hype. Casey Stoney is coming in, not in, but we're gonna have Casey Stoney.
Yeah,
Friday.
It happened.
It happened. A long time coming. So thank you to San Diego Wave for being able to set that up. Our goal there was to, just have a good old soccer conversation. I think I really hope that's what came across. But at this time, I think it's good to bring on somebody who, clearly, if you've been paying attention on socials, it's just kind of what's been going on with San Diego Football, the website. You notice that there are some writings, and it's not just a ghost writer. It's not just it's
not me.
It's not you. It's not me, because it's actually good. But it is our new, not new pal. We've known her for a while, but new on the board, making sure that we're doing the coverage that this sport deserves in San Diego. And I think having somebody like him with his caliber, his pedigree, his knowledge in the journalistic world is going to really add a lot to what we have building here. But I think it's a good time now to talk a little bit of San Diego Wave, because Abe Cepeda covers a lot of San Diego Wave, and there's now 4 of us. Look at that. Let me take that one off. Abe, Abraham,
what's up, man? How's it
Martin,
going?
como quieras. Say hi to the people. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. Love you guys' show. Long time listener, first time caller. It's been a blast seeing you guys grow, and I'm very glad that I'm a part of it now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And this is
Did you say Martin?
Yeah, it's Martin. Had you been to that game, you would have understood.
Oh,
but instead of being at that game, because you were also busy, you went to the kit release, and we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that too. But this Casey Stoney interview, Lynn says, great interview with Casey Stoney. Appreciate it. I think she appreciated it too.
Okay, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I think she appreciated it too. Abe, you had some time to listen to it. What did you think? Anything stick out?
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw Darnay Tripp say at one point that she's one of the best interviews in San Diego, and I think that's completely right. She is always willing to speak her mind and just go out of her way to say things that you guys didn't even ask for, and kind of make some news there. But yeah, she's always a great interview, and she did seem to like your guys' questions. She was always smiling. Like sometimes after games, she doesn't like to smile after our questions, but she did smile after you guys.
But you mentioned a little bit of that touching point, something that she said that was unprompted, Jiva.
Yeah, no. So we had every intention about bringing Taylor Korniak, and she brought it up herself.
Flint.
Flint. So she brought it up herself and said, you know what? We had players that, like Korniak wasn't on the idea of leaving, but
we were going to ask.
Yeah, and she's like just point blank said she did not want to compete.
Let's hear it from Casey herself.
Unfortunately, Taylor Korniak, decided that she wanted a move. She didn't want to compete in certain areas and positions, and she wanted a move based on that. Unfortunately, we didn't anticipate losing her, but I don't want to keep a player that A, doesn't want to compete, or B, that is not happy to be here. I want players that want to be here. So that was one we couldn't avoid, but I'm really pleased with the work we've done in preseason.
So I mean that obviously everything that follows is great. Go ahead and check out the interview, but that kind of stood out in the little corner. You just see us kind of like nodding and just knowing that telepathically we're both like,
oh shit,
oh, we didn't ask.
thanks.
This is great.
Cool.
Like, keep going, Casey.
Yeah, no, and she's absolutely right. Why would you want to keep a player? At the end of the day, a championship built roster team tends to have very good quality talent even on the bench, where if your bench player is competing at training, fighting for that starting spot, you want your starters to also want to compete for that. So pretty much said, she doesn't want to compete. She wants a starting spot given to her, and that's not how it works. You have to earn that stuff. Abe, I don't know what you thought about that.
I think that just thinking about it from the Taylor perspective, it is a little weird when the coach brings in like Savannah McCaskill and Elise Bennett, just two really tall physical players that are gonna do what your role is. But at the same time, I think her most successful time has been under Casey Stoney, especially that first season, and she really just upped her game from how she was in Orlando. And I mean, if you're Korniak, if you think you can do a better job in racing Louisville, I mean, good for her. So, and obviously Casey didn't feel like she needs them anymore, which is, I guess, looks interesting for the Wave at least this season, because like I said, they brought in some taller physical players that can fill that role that she kind of leaves.
And we got to be absolutely honest, right? Taylor Korniak wasn't the same coming back from that injury. She wasn't playing at that level that got her into the U.S. women's national team anymore. And it's hard to get back to those levels coming back from an injury. Tony, I know you can speak on injuries as well and just how hard it is to come back from one.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
What a transition.
Segue.
Yeah, segue, whatever.
Segue. But no, I think what ended up happening was Casey utilized her in a way in the first season that nobody was expecting. She was a midfielder, center attacking mid, just kind of center forward at times, where the formula was Sheridan, Korniak, backheader, Morgan, goal. And that proved to be successful. It's that Sheridan, Taylor, somebody, goal. The other teams figured that out season 2 real quick. And not only did they figure it out, they figured out that because she's a physical person, you can get physical with her, but then you can just let yourself drop, flop, and they're probably going to go ahead and call a foul on her. She also didn't necessarily react the best, nor did she have the proper backup from her captains, I would think at times, to really say and step into those moments and vouch for Taylor, because that's what you have to do. And I think that's a question as far as like the captaincy and how we're going to see, if it's going to be Alex Morgan again, how that's going to go ahead and look like this season. I did like what I saw from Alex Morgan against Colombia, which, she was getting, she was not letting herself be, intimidated. She wasn't going crazy. She wasn't doing anything over the top, but still that shows a side of leadership that I haven't necessarily seen an intensity at Wave so far.
Nothing like we saw in the Soccers.
And I think going back to Taylor for a second, she broke her nose. Like, she was bleeding on the pitch in one game, and like none of the other players really did anything about that, which that happens in the game. I think there was no card at the time, and I don't think there was a card later on. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Casey got fined for defending Taylor in that moment, but I mean, when you have a player that can get injured like that and the league doesn't really protect her, the referees aren't going to protect her, it's just always going to be a hard time trying to choose when to play her and also when to keep her safe.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, the fact that Casey just brought that up on herself was pretty shocking as well. But at the end of the day, you have players that are proving themselves not only on San Diego Wave, but also in the U.S. Women's National Team in this Gold Cup. You have players literally stepping up. Alex Morgan is just kind of showing that leadership that we've been all wanting from when it comes to her playing in San Diego Wave, talking highly of youngsters, stepping up and talking back right when your team needs it against other players. Jaden Shaw just doing Jaden Shaw things, becoming the first player in the U.S. Women's National Team to score their first 3 starts. Like, that's impressive on its own. And then Naomi Girma just starting in that back line and then keeping another clean sheet. So,
and I think a big deal was when they lost to Mexico, Alex Morgan was the one that had to answer the call to the media, to the post game. She was the one that everyone wanted to talk to. She gave some of the best quotes as far as they played like crap that game against Mexico, and she was the captain in that sense. Even though technically Lindsey Horan is the captain, the player that came on as an injury replacement had to be the one that was the front-facing actual face of the U.S. team.
I agree, Abraham. No, I really think it's pointing to a season that's going to be interesting. I see Lynn saying Elise Bennett as well. We've heard Elise Bennett is going to be somebody to pay attention to in this squad. Just the intensity that she brings in, and that's something that Wave has needed. And in the new threads, I think it's going to be appropriate to see a different San Diego Wave, to see a different approach to the season. Casey, a lot of great insight in what she was talking about in the interview. Again, I urge you to check it out. It's 20 minutes of just soccer talk. And I think that's something that, after, I didn't think we talked yet. After we stopped recording, we had just a little chat with her right after. I'm like, hey, we want to just make sure to offer the space. If that's ever something that you want, we can show highlights. We can break down stuff and just, keep it soccer. And, she responded well to that. So we might, hopefully be looking at a check-in, a regular check-in of some sort with Casey Stoney. Yeah, that name will need a workshop.
Yeah, for sure. But another Wave news.
What was it?
Stoney speaks.
Stoney speaks. I like that.
We'll work on that. Now. Another news for San Diego Wave, they dropped their kits.
Oh yeah,
dropped on Tuesday, and I went to the pop-up
punchies
reveal party that they had. They dropped them already in the morning on that Tuesday, but the event was quite impressive. It was everything that, remember that Loyal event at the same Adams Avenue Theater?
Mm-hmm.
Everything they had was pretty much same food thing, just think double the size of attendance, triple the size of attendance. It was very cool to the point where there was a line. I think 619 Soccer commented like, oh, El Chiva left early AF from that. And you know what? It was an event where they weren't letting people in until people left. So by good gracious, I went in, got some food, talked to some people, did an interview with Sierra Angie. We're going to have Sierra Angie coming on the podcast soon as well.
Heck yeah.
Again, said what's up to some people, check that out. All right, cool. There's not much else to do now. I'm going to head out so other people can come in. There was a line by the time I left, and I stayed in there for a good 45 minutes, almost an hour. So, again, they get 20,000 fans average in attendance. I don't know how many people showed out, but I think they reported their record sales like in jerseys, right? I think it went up 400%. And that's just that one day. But we got the jerseys, and I think people kind of see what you meant with doesn't have a home vibe to it, Tony, but I think we all like them. I think they're different.
I think the like part was always going to be there, and I think that's what I was kind of clear with like people are going to like these kits. These kits are going to be good. They're the first bespoke kits that San Diego Wave has. They also have the Poderosa pink ones. The home ones are called the Del Sol. And I like it. Like, it looks like a third kit, 100%, but I think that if they would have launched the club with these, it would have been a different tone where I would have been like, no, yeah, 100%. Like, that's really cool.
Am I the only one that found it a little weird that they use like Spanish language for their jerseys, but yet have not come out too much to the South Bay or to any Latino like popular places in San Diego?
It's like saying Rubios. Like, it's not Rubios, it's Rubios. But La Poderosa, let's go Wave. And that's an appeal. That's an appeal.
I'm sorry, but naming them that, it's kind of like saying Chipotle is the best Mexican place in San Diego.
Sure. According to Alex Morgan, it is.
Yes.
You've seen the commercials.
100%.
Hey,
did you like the kids?
They all rep the taco stand nowadays because that's the closest one up there.
So yeah, I think we asked Sierra when we had her, we're like, hey, what's your favorite taco shop down? And she said the taco stand, just because it is in the vicinity. So they should bring them a little bit down south.
Buenos? I want to look at their menu.
The taco stand is that same one that's next to O'Brien's.
Neta.
Yeah. It's okay. It's fine. Gets the job done.
$4.25 a carne asada taco.
Share that. Share it.
Ya voy.
Hurry.
Okay, aguántala.
Because I'm gonna compare these directly with Tacos El Frank in Plaza Bonita. Directly.
They already have their menu up?
No, I mean whenever they do. Did you send it, boy?
Okay.
Where is it?
Okay, tranquilo, viejo.
Oh my god, people are listening. Abe is waiting. Abe is salivating.
There it is.
I need to see these tacos, man.
That's Esteban says like the California burrito is legit.
Okay.
A ver, ¿cuánto sale el burrito?
¿Dónde está, boy?
I'm sharing it. Like you can click on my thing.
All right. Is it there? Okay.
$9.49 California burrito.
But look, it's not a No, stay there. It's a flame broiled Angus steak, 100% certified Angus beef, cheese, fries, guacamole, tomato, salsa, and sour cream. Some places you have to ask for sour cream.
That is true. That is very true. All right, we're gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, 100%. And under
purposes.
Esteban Toscano's request, it will be a California burrito. I will make sure to do that. All right, so jerseys are out. Jerseys are cool, sold out. They're gonna keep selling out. They can be $300. They're gonna keep selling out. That's the nature of soccer jerseys in this day and age. But at the end of the day, it's how they're gonna play on game day. Casey seems confident in her squad. I like that she's, it has grown as a manager, and she's kind of been the first one to point to herself and say, like, I could have done better here and there, and instead recognition, that would be really cool. Would Chiva or Tony even go for a California burrito? I mean, yeah, it's a vessel.
I can't finish it, but
but the stadium one is mid. I hate the lack of consistency in taco places. Like if they have more than one stand or whatever,
but some are good, some are no.
Yeah, like no, like Cotijas, like National City across the street from Sweetwater High School. They sold to another person, and now it sucks. But the Cotijas by our work is still the original recipe, but it's the same franchise. Anyway,
stadium tacos anywhere is always a tough game to play. The one thing I will say about my LA trip that I had covering the Gold Cup up there is they know how to get down as far as food wise goes outside the stadium. There was hot dogs, there was tacos, there was fruit outside.
And that you can actually smell those, because the ones that stand outside of Petco Park, if you walk by and you notice, those weenies no huelen a nada. They you don't smell the bacon. Like there's rows of hot dogs, but you don't smell it. In LA, I'll give them that.
Some do.
You have to get close, and then they're like, "Hey, like,
no,
why are you smelling my shit?"
Nothing like LA for sure. But yeah, no. What a transition to talk about the Gold Cup, right? So we're down to the semifinals. We had the quarterfinals up at BMO Stadium this past weekend, and Abraham, you kind of wrote an article for us with your predictions, and boy, did you get those predictions right. You got the teams right, at least. That's better than nothing.
I was really surprised by the Canada game the most, I think. That was probably the biggest upset for me as far as going into extra time and just... But I'm glad I got all the predictions right. I mean, I mostly picked favorites, which is, as far as favorites, I mean, like, the favorite team to play, so it was pretty easy that way, but... I mean, this semifinal is about as good as you can get. I mean, Brazil, Mexico, and then USA, Canada. I think USA has played Canada the most in their entire history, so that'll be always a tough matchup for them. And then Brazil, Mexico, they haven't faced each other much, but I mean, Mexico's really shined in a way that no one has expected. I think under their head coach, though, since they did not qualify for the Women's World Cup, they got a new head coach, Pedro Lopez, and he has not lost a game. Knock on wood. I mean, I might have just jinxed that right there, but he has not lost a game. That is nuts to think about.
Yeah, no, and I mean, proving it, especially following that with beating the US 2-0 right at the end of the group stage. But the semifinals will be in San Diego at Snapdragon. They switched the games, so Mexico, Brazil are playing at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, March 6th, and the US and Canada are playing at Snapdragon as well at 7:15 following that game. They're earlier now compared to the other ones. My bad, Tony.
Yeah.
My bad. I know that's noisy, but they're earlier games because they can go extra time, they can go to penalties, so it gives it a little more leeway, a little bit more space for that to play out. But I mean, gentlemen, what are some predictions that we have? Do we want a Mexico-US final? Is that what we want? What are predictions of our attendance of our Wednesday game? We went to the group stage and the attendance was very poor to the point where they were giving out tickets to our employers, Tony.
Which they should have done originally. Like the marketing for the Gold Cup has been absolutely abysmal, top down. You're not doing yourself any favors by not appealing to the community, not giving tickets away. And I think, even taking it back to SDFC, right? Like I think that's something that they're learning that, if you get engaged and are doing grassroots efforts to the community will respond. So far, it's not worked for Snapdragon. The U.S. women's national team is drawing a little bit more in LA. Mexico's drawing a little bit more in LA. But it's going to be interesting to see how many people make that trip or are already here in San Diego that are going to go watch these games, how much overlap there is, because they are separate, right? I think we've seen what Brazil's brought. Brazil has brought a couple hundred.
Well, I mean, didn't they announce 5,000 when Brazil ended up playing Colombia? I think they announced over 5,000 at Snapdragon.
There were a lot of Colombianos.
Yeah, there were, but I mean, there's more Mexicans than Colombianos.
100%. 100%.
So, I mean, I believe the Mexican people in LA have been showing out. I think they will also show out in San Diego. It's going to be a chance for those type of different cultures to go to Snapdragon and meet each other, where we saw the carne asadas in the parking lot and all these people tailgating for the Mexico games against Cameroon.
Yeah.
So I think you can also get that for this. So that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, I predicted on Twitter under 10K, and just from the feedback I got, a lot of people don't think it's going to be that. They think it's going to be over. And I mean, I think I can see that now. I think a lot of people are really craving women's soccer here in San Diego. I mean, it's been a long time since the Wave have played, or even the NWSL Championship. It's been a long time, and people are excited to just get back out there. And it was very weird as far as like marketing go. You mentioned San Diego FC. I mean, San Diego Wave themselves held an event the same day as a game, which just seems like a bad idea. I mean, you're trying to grow women's soccer. I think you can say like, hey, we'll have it just one day later. But I mean, that's their decision. But it could have easily just been, hey, why don't we announce this at Snapdragon City? I mean, we were talking about that at the press box. I think why not just have something in the parking lot to just try and bring people together and make Wave fans want to be excited about women's soccer other than just the San Diego Wave.
I love what Jeff in the comments is saying. He's going to take one for the team and let his wife go to the sister with the sister, or to the game with sister-in-law, and he'll stay home with the kids. Bravo to you, sir.
Nice. You guys both did it at the same time. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, you think about it for the U.S. women's national team, people are going to show out, especially because you have so many Wave players involved. You have 5 total players from Wave representing in that game, with Kaylin Sheridan participating with Canada. So I think Wave fans are definitely going to show out to that game, regardless of time. If they even go to the Mexico-Brazil game, why not? Do we know for sure?
Because they're at work, Chiva.
I know. I mean,
they're at work. Their children are in school.
I mean, yes, for sure. But do we know if the tickets get you an entrance to both of these games as well?
Yes,
it should.
It does.
Snapdragon Stadium announced that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't.
If I was to get tickets, it's through Ticketmaster, right?
Yeah, Ticketmaster. But I mean,
like officially,
yeah,
right?
Snapdragon sells through Ticketmaster.
Okay,
and I think for the final, the cheapest one I saw was $35.
I didn't
check the semifinals.
Let's look at it's not stadium tours. March 6th, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's see tickets. Let's do it. So the good people can watch. What do I need to know? Except, all right,
cheapest $35.
$35, and that is
section 115.
115. So these are already taken.
Yeah, the red ones are being resold.
Oh wow. Okay, $84. Oh my god. Okay.
To resell it, that's crazy.
I mean, all right. So let's see how much. Zoom out. Zoom out. I want to see. I mean, that's
Okay,
okay.
that's pretty well. So like, that's
Is
a good
it?
turnout.
Yeah,
Is
that
it?
lower bowl looks pretty full to me.
That
Yeah, it
does look
does. It
pretty.
really does.
Okay. All
I mean,
right.
I know a lot of them are general admission, especially in like the supporter section. I think that's standing room only, but
Is the upper
I
bowl closed for this one?
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. But the lower bowl, if it's sold out, how much is that? Is that 20?
Yeah, it's about 20.
Okay. It should be more than 10,000 based on this.
Yeah, Abe. No.
Someone was tweeting about it, and what do they know?
No, I think I was rightfully dragged for that. I was pretty low on that over under call.
Hey, seasons the boy Jesse is joining us. Let's see. Lynn says 16K on yesterday's quarterfinal. But on Saturday it was 2,822. Yeah, I mean, these numbers are going to fluctuate, but I think right now I think it's only up, and I do think a lot of people bought tickets before even knowing who was going to be in the final because they did have the release of ticket sales for the final here in Snapdragon Stadium. So I know a lot of people who just went in and bought them. I know there's the Beach Bums, Black Speech, who also is a kind of collective of human beings. Who's sold out the wave sections, and so I think people are going to be coming out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a very cool mosaic of colors, and I think that's what I like. It's that honestly my favorite supporter section was Panama. I don't know if you were there, Abe, for the Panama Puerto Rico game.
Oh no, I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, so like the Panamanian fans, like they were mostly baseball supporters, and you can tell, but they were having a blast. When the Brazilians started going out off in that Colombia game, it was just a really cool moment. Whenever Snapdragon does get packed and just people are cheering and into the game, it's an awesome time. So if you are able to go watch the Gold Cup semis and the championship.
Can we talk about how jacked up it was the way Puerto Rico was eliminated?
Oh,
That has
was
never
so cool.
happened. That has
Oh,
never
my
happened
Lord.
in the history of the Gold Cup, but they have a regulation and rules for it. So Costa Rica and Puerto Rico, those of you who don't know, ended in third place of their groups. So the top two third places of the groups go into the quarterfinals. They tied in every single category: points, goals in favor, goals against, goal difference, points based on yellow cards and red. They tied on every single category. So CONCACAF released a statement. So based on this, we're about to go live and do a draw. You can check it out here in this link. Literally didn't even give a 5-minute heads up or anything. They posted that, click, they went straight live to it. I heard I saw it somewhere on TikTok. I think it was Attacking Third that shared it. They found some clear plastic balls to like be able to do the thing. And I don't know what you guys think about that. Do you guys think it was cool? Do you guys think it was legit a coin flip to see who advances to quarterfinals?
There's no way they just found that. They had that prepared. Like people say, like, oh, we just found. Like, no, they had that prepared. They had to have foreseen a scenario where that happened. And I honestly, coin flip might have been funnier. Maybe like a rock paper scissors. I know Puerto Rico was over here in San Diego, but like maybe get the players involved. That could have been a little fun, you know. Just, but I mean, just a picking of a ball in front of like the media like us, like that's kind of nuts.
Yeah, the footage was wild. I was trying to find it. I don't think it's readily available right now, but yeah, no, that's what happens. Like that's what happened. I remember what was it, 2014? Nigeria got eliminated from the World Cup on fair play because they were tied virtually on everything, and nobody knew that obscure rule then. And then it turns out that yeah, whichever team receives the less amount of yellow cards / red cards advances on fair play rules, but the situation was just like you're saying, everything. So, heartbreaking. I mean, I think that Puerto Rico and Costa Rica both would have been proud to do what they did, especially Puerto Rico. The way that they played here against Brazil, that first match was insane. Martinez, the goalkeeper, really, did an outstanding job. But, I mean, as far as results go, and then I know you asked, Mexico US, like I think that's the final that everybody wants. Competitive wise, if Mexico keeps it up, that too. But if not, Mexico, the USA versus anybody at this point, will be what people most likely think. A Sheridan face off.
So now, if the U.S. don't win this tournament, I mean, there's already the whole thing with the U.S. women's national team that they're on the decline, right? And they're trying to rebuild or anything. If they don't win this tournament, is it a failure? Is it fair to say that?
I think it probably is fair to say that with the Olympics coming up, and this Canada game isn't something to overlook for sure. I think
Yeah.
you look at their forwards especially; they were really good in the group stage. I mean, Jordan Heidemann, we've seen her with the rain, and she's actually been a problem for Naomi Girma in the past. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to see. I mean, we've seen the rain just dominate San Diego just throughout their whole existence, and if Heidemann is part of that problem and Girma can't really like defend against that, then there might be an issue there. But I I would still give the edge to the U.S. in this case, even though they have Sheridan and Sheridan has had some Snapdragon magic. Man, this is gonna be an exciting game.
It's gonna be, and I mean, you have to start the wave players, right? You have to start Girma. You have to start Jaden Shaw. The games that they started, they're the games that they kept clean sheets. They played the best.
You do not have to start Abby Dahlkemper.
You don't have to. You don't have to for sure.
I will
you
say
don't-
I liked what I saw from Abby Dahlkemper in the game against Mexico. There were some times where she wasn't doing the right thing defensively, but she had a goal line save, and that was the first thing I noticed when I went to the Waves' first training camp this season. She is in shape like she's never been before because she was injured when she got here. She got retired by Chiva, and she came back, worked out like insane amounts to be ready for the Gold Cup, to be ready for international play, and now she's called up to the national team. It's pretty crazy that she's still there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, I gotta say, I haven't seen too much of the players that got called up based on their performance in the last NWSL championship game. Like Mitch Purse hasn't really done too much. Lynn Williams hasn't really done too. Like she hasn't stood out either. So they got their call up based on their season, but I think they're being outshined by actual talent like Jana Shaw, like Rose Lavelle, Alex Morgan stepping up as well. But they definitely have a good.
Midge Purse, I'll agree on Lynn Williams, but Midge Purse had an amazing game against Argentina in LA. She had a crazy assist to Olivia Moultrie, and she for a second there, I was wondering if she was one of the best player on that team, because I mean we saw her with the NWSL championship. She
balled out. Yeah, he was the MVP of the game.
Yeah, she balled out, and she balled out in that Argentina game, and then they had her on as a sub yesterday, and she probably could have done a little bit more, but when she's right, she looks a lot better than most of the players on that field.
Yeah, definitely a late bloomer. I mean, she's already 27, 28, I believe, but it's never too late.
So what are we thinking? Brazil, Mexico?
I'm thinking Mexico.
All right.
I think Ovalle steps up. I think Ovalle could definitely win player of the tournament for sure. And it's crazy that this Mexico team is literally majority Liga MX players.
But Chiva, they're not ready. They're not world class in Liga MX.
It's not a level. It's not a U.S. women's national team level.
It's not a U.S. women's national team level. Clearly, it's better.
Well, Mr. Heifetz, now you see this team about to face, beating the U.S. women's national team. So
619 Soccer says Brazil 2-1.
I'll second that. I 2-1. I mean,
imaginemos cosas chingonas.
Hey, yo soy ciudadano. Yeah, I'm Mexican citizen now, and
I'm not even that.
Yeah, well, Brazil, I mean, their chemistry is unmatched, and I mentioned to you guys I think I said to Tony at the Brazil game in Snapdragon that Debinha, people have always talked about her being one of the best players in NWSL, and I never really saw it with her with Kansas City. She looked kind of alone out there sometimes, and next to Brazilian players, she's just having so much fun out there, and it looks so fun to play soccer when Brazilians play like that. And if they do that against Mexico, it's not going to look good.
Historically, in tournaments like this, Brazil in Spanish, what we call son clientes. where Mexico end up coming on top. Happened in the Gold Cup, happened in the Copa America. So historically speaking, Mexico should be the favorites here. It is Brazil, but I'm gonna go with a Mexico 3-2 win.
The Bomb 07 Junior says 1-0 Brazil. El Toro Fuerte says sushi.
Wait, Japan's not here, dog. What?
Loving the Abe content. I love it too. Look at that. That was a very good heart.
Sushi or
Sushi?
Abe content?
Sushi. I'm surprised how they only picked one player from Chivas and left out Licha Cervantes and Carla Martinez, top players in Liga MX. But they're getting it done. That's the important part. They're getting it done. Interesting stat. Abe said too, undefeated.
But Jesse Loera, he's a big Chivas fan, so it's okay. It's okay. They're getting it done with what they have. So.
Urban legend as a Brazil fan, 3-1. All right, cool. So Brazil seems to be top dog right now. Underdog is Mexico. Obviously, underdog is going to be anybody that faces the U.S. women's national team. So what do we think about that? Do you?
You guys' audio cut out, but I think the U.S. are gonna come out on top. Like I said, the Jordan Heidema might present a challenge, but Naomi Girma, best defender in the world, proved it again against Linda Caicedo. I mean, even underrated performance in that USA game yesterday was Alyssa Nair. There were 2 shots on goal that probably should have went in, and she had some great saves. I think you can really compare it to like Memo Ochoa and a lot of people wanting to retire her, kind of people over her being called up, but she just keeps performing at the international level, and you can't call her out. Alyssa Nair has been awesome for the U.S. team this tournament. Still can't hear you guys. Oh well.
I agree. I think with you, it's going to be a U.S. Mexico final.
But Abe's got Brazil.
Everybody's got Brazil. That either way, it's going to be a good game. I want the best of the best because clearly we've seen just the levels of it, right? Like 6-0 group stages here and there. Audio, Cecilia, can you hear us, Abe?
Yeah, I hear you. You guys were quiet for a second, but I think you're good now.
We were thinking about what you were saying and Mexico not making it through.
I was just sad that I'm not a Mexican citizen. So
don't say that too loud. You're way too close to the border here at my house. But yeah, so that's going to be interesting. March 10th is going to be the final Gold Cup final. I'm pretty sure that there's still going to be tickets available for that. If not, go to your local ticket master or don't wait. I don't think you'll be, you don't want to be at the ticket box. They have game without a ticket in hand. But really cool stuff happening. That same day is going to be the San Diego Soccer's halftime media game. You're going to be covering the final on Snapdragon. I have to work, as I do
just
work.
Call out, dude.
I call out from the Soccer's and then she'll show up at Snapdragon.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Craig's not going to know. He's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Who does the audio if Craig's not on the public address?
More be yeah. I don't know.
The English ones would be funny. Jaden Shaw.
I have no idea.
We'll find out. Maybe it's
Nate Aburrea.
No. Who would it be?
Who does it for other teams that play there? Who does it for the
Who does it for the Aztecs? For the Legion?
Aztecs.
Johnny Richardson?
Heck yeah.
It might be the guy that does the Padres because I think he's done a Snapdragon thing before. I'm pretty sure he does USD or UCSD.
No. That's Maniac. Pretty sure it's something Maniac. He was supposed to be on the podcast year 1 in the pandemic, but he soon discovered the power of Cameo and started doing that.
Alex Miniak.
Alex Miniak. Shout out Alex Miniak. But yeah, so Gold Cup action here in San Diego. Incredible stuff. I think it's going to be a good lead-in into the NWSL season, which is coming in pretty much 11 days from now. Challenge Cup officially going to be the first matchup between San Diego Wave and Gotham FC. The winner of the Supporter Shield versus the winner of the NWSL Championship. Clash in Red Bull Arena. So that's going to be coming up soon. We'll go ahead and just kind of talk a little bit more about those games coming up and just the coverage that's about to take off. Because boys, I mean,
I
yes,
have a question for you guys about that because Gotham and Wave have so many international players, especially on the US. And how seriously are they going to take that Challenge Cup game? Because I think Gotham's like 8 of their starting 11 is on the US national team, and the Wave it's obviously a lot too. And how serious would you take that if you're Casey Stoney?
Very serious. Very serious because it's a chance at silverware. I think she takes it seriously. I think she takes it as a chance to prove and set the tone of the season. But I think she can see that they have an advantage with so many players out from Gotham.
it'd be a good kind of litmus test to see where everybody's at, the players that they'll have. Again, I'm talking about Elise Bennett, talking about hello, Maudelio Romero, saludos de Ciudad Juárez, México. Yo apoyo a Cruz Azul. ¿Cómo apoyas Cruz Azul de Ciudad Juárez? I don't know.
Salte de aquí, vato. No te creas.
Whoa.
Just kidding.
Familia Peluches. But no, so I think Casey Stoney will definitely take it seriously to the degree that she wants to showcase what these other players have for the team. Because again, we're talking about McCaskill, we're talking about Bennett, we're talking about Jones, who's been impressive from what we've heard from preseason. And
We've heard she's out there breaking ankles.
100% breaking ankles of Naomi Girma. I'm sorry,
that's what
Girma.
we heard. That's what we heard.
That was a report that 100% that Naomi Girma has been put on her buttocks twice
on the skates.
Yeah, so training, practice. When the game's on, you don't know. But no, that's going to be interesting to see how the season kicks off. And then just the integration of the internationals back into the team. And see if Melanie Barcena is going to have some sort of intervention here and there. But I don't know. I think she's still not ready to get some serious minutes unless proven otherwise here.
What do you consider serious minutes?
A half.
Ve al baño, güey. Ya sé que tienes que ir, güey. Este vato. What do you consider serious minutes? He said a half.
I think she's gotten some serious minutes. I mean, do you remember that game versus Angel City that she came on and the Wave had nothing offensively? Like, that was a pretty big moment. And then she did have, like, an error with not being able to receive a header there. But I still think she's got a lot of talent. And Casey Stoney knows how to protect young players. I mean, she had Lauren James back in England, and she will take her time with Melanie Martinez as she sees fit. And I think that's probably a good thing. You shouldn't be relying on that young of a player to carry your team offensively. I think that we can expect her to do some good things maybe in the future, but just to ask that of a young player like that is way too much.
But I mean, still, you don't ask it, but if she's that gifted and you see the difference she makes coming off the bench, and then she starts getting on the score sheet, she starts getting more assists coming off the bench, eventually you're going to make her a starter. And I mean, the biggest thing I can think of is like not comparing her to Lionel Messi or anything, but when Messi was coming off, he was making a big impact for Barcelona as a 16, 17-year-old. So a player that can make that impact can definitely can definitely shine, especially in a league like this. But I know Lynn was saying, curious how they closed the preseason match versus the Dash. So yeah, they are going to be closing out the preseason this Friday in Irvine against Houston Dash. That should be a fun one. It's going to be a closed door preseason game. So boo, you can't see it. Probably won't see results. Hopefully we do. Hopefully they drop lineups. That'd be cool, at least.
That would be cool. But there are some players that aren't technically on the Wave that are in training camp with them. I mean, if you follow enough of these Wave players on Instagram, you'll see a lot of random NWSL players where it's like, are you on the Wave? You're not on the Wave, but you're always posting from some fancy places in San Diego. And I mean, that's always fun to follow with the Wave.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, definitely.
To live in Del Mar like that. That is so cool.
Yeah, but Chula Vista's not that bad. Although Tony doesn't like Chula Vista. Huh, Tony?
That's crazy. I like
Yeah, no,
Cholo.
Tony's a big. I mean, he claims to be lives in IB, but he doesn't live in IB.
I'm from
Hi.
National City in Tijuana.
Tijuana. Are you a citizen over there?
In Tijuana?
Yeah.
I may or may not have dual citizenship via dual birth certificates.
My dad has that. He has both birth certificates.
I have 2 different birthdays.
That's sick.
Saying, oh, I love Del Mar. Oh, were you guys talking about areas?
Yeah, we were. Why?
Well, I don't know. Somebody says I love Del Mar. I come back to I love Del Mar. Like,
Nah, we're just talking about the different players, and Abe saying that he loves Del Mar and he wishes he could live there.
yeah, a lot of players live there. Vamos Cholos.
That's why we were talking about it.
Because Vamos Cholos?
No.
Oh, I love that. But yeah, all right. So I think we'll wrap up Gold Cup coverage because we'll have more coverage here as the week goes on. But again, I just want to go ahead and plug everything. You see it there on the name, Abe Cepeda. Let's see. Put this here, put you there. You'll see it right down there at Abe_Cepeda.
There you go.
Go ahead and check him out. This podcast is the best. He's the best.
It is the best.
Anything that you want to just say, leave with, you'll stay here in the little pod if you want to contribute with a little private chat. That'd be cool too. But check out the writings on San Diego Punto Futbol. Anything else, Abe?
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you guys for having me on. Thank you for covering the game the way it should be. It's a lot of fun. Thank you to the family that's watching right now. I think that's my cousin right there that's been commenting that. But yeah.
Wait, that's your family? But he just
that's my
followed you?
cousin. Pretty sure that's
I
my
followed
cousin.
him. I just followed him.
He's being silly, but yeah.
No, I love it, and I love having you on the squad, on the team, on the rotation. It's cool having this platform to start building in, and again, just
Building a team of heavy hitters. We got it.
go look at that, go Abe. Like again, it's
Right
like
there.
we
All right.
did not we haven't felt as important as we were walking through Dignity Health
Anyone
Sports Park
knowing
in
we're
LA.
Abe's helpers. Like, that's all we really are. We're his helpers.
Like the seas parted when Abraham was walking through and just asking him
He's like,
questions.
guys, follow me.
He's
I know where to go. Follow me, guys.
Let me see real quick. Anything else, Abraham, you want to plug? You have coming up any ideas that you want and kind of trending towards?
Yeah, I mean, follow San Diego Punto Futbol for my writing and stuff. Written all around town. I've written for Johnny Richardson, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
He's
Shout out
strong.
Johnny.
Heck yeah, Johnny.
But yeah, it's just we've been credentialed here in the county in San Diego and in
Past
the
4
area for
years.
the past 4 years and going. We're currently, we were looking for content creators to join our family and give this sport the coverage that it deserves. So I'm really happy to have you on, Abraham. The opportunities may vary, but you're the guy. Just DM us for details if you want more. All right, Abraham. Good lad here. Shout out to the family. Oh, he's still there. That's support. This is the best podcast. Oh, Lynn, thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, so cool. I mean, we're
Women's
gonna
Gold
keep
Cup,
on
dude.
going.
It's crazy how fast this month has passed by. It feels like the start of the year was very slow. Hey, what'd you drink in there?
I was gonna put it on the side, but I just opened it, and that would have been bad.
What'd you
Got
drink?
some Recover. If you want to recover from anything that you're feeling hydration lacking, get some Recover.
This is not a paid.
We are not
sponsorship.
sponsored, but it can happen. It can.
So
We've drank so many of these.
these are super healthy. You know how? I mean, okay, not everything at Sprouts is super healthy, but Sprouts is healthy-ish, and they sell them at Sprouts. So, salud, mi familia.
It's the reason why I keep going to the restroom. You got to stay hydrated,
Yeah, these are very good. Yeah, these are very good.
Hydration is key.
All right, real quick, SDFC. They had another Chrome Ball tour over in Santee, and the weather was not the friendliest for them.
Yeah, I mean, they've been getting lucky, honestly, in the last couple ones because the Escondido one, it was raining and then the skies parted for that particular day.
No, but I saw on their Instagram, even some clips they shared. We didn't get to go to this one for sure, but Santee has the sports complex, the Sportsplex, over I think it's called Sportsplex USA, and
Mhm.
they have indoor facilities as well. But then they also have like that old drive-in movie theater. So they have the whole space, and they had the grass pitch, and they had an 11v11 tournament, the first one of the Chrome Ball Tour that teams got to sign up. So I don't know how fast those spots filled up, but they got filled up. So from what I heard from a friend that participated, this was a $2,000 tournament. So if you won, you got $2,000. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. This is just what my friend shared.
Sources.
He was in the team that won for the men's side for the 11v11. Not too sure if that's completely true or anything. So don't want to put anything out there for SDFC, but I think the teams are getting compensated for winning as they should be.
Yeah, no, 100%.
This is great.
So they say that there is prizes and merch available whenever that you win that tournament or participate in the tournament. Here we see some of the champions here. What I would love for them to give away the actual trophy to the teams, like just for some keepsake. Again,
Cuestan como 60
details,
bolas, vato.
like it's fine. Like it's literally nitpicking. But if not, it's awesome too. Like it doesn't matter the trophy at the end of the day. But again, you're seeing the different communities come out. What you're gonna get, and I actually was speaking with one of the referees that is at these events, is that like no, it gets competitive. They've had to stop some fights. There's been some intensity, and you get that when you put some money on the line. When you have these situations
100%.
that, and yeah, I mean, look at these, a bunch of violent criminals here, just bundles of joy and crime and violence on the pitch. I'm kidding. But no, like it's a really cool community event, and I think it's gone to a point where and if you were at the event, let us know. I think Jeff here was saying it's pretty cool to be out there in Santee and all the kids playing a full 11v11, play both men's, women's, girls, and boys. We've seen different iterations of soccer being played at these events. We've seen futsal, street soccer, canchita, fútbol rápido, indoor soccer. We've seen 1v1s. I dominated,
and we
in there.
participated in some of them too.
Dominated. Absolutely.
You did all right.
I did the best.
And you did not do the best. You didn't win. So you weren't the best. You weren't the best.
I did my part. My
You had one
friend-
save and one miss and
2 saves
two saves. My bad. Good shit.
out of 3. That's a pretty good record. I'd be in the Hall of Fame if it was baseball.
Record. The next Chrome Ball Tour is going to be up in
¿Dónde está? Let's see. We have the dates here.
Carlsbad, March 24th. Not sure if they've dropped a
Location, everything's
yet.
still
No.
TBD. We'll look in the inbox.
So not next
and give
weekend,
that
but the weekend
information.
after that. We probably won't be able to participate in that or go. We are doing coverage for San Diego Internacional back in the UPSL for their spring season. Head coach Matty Palpalatok is taking charge now. Went from player to assistant coach to now head coach for SD Internacional. So we are excited to cover SD Internacional at the UPSL one more time.
Yeah, and with that, one last thing here with SDFC. It's FDFC peripheral, but it's still SDFC because he is the only player still on the roster to this day.
An early shot for Duran for Reed.
Here's a chance, and it's denied by Fareed.
Abe, that was a combination of iMovie and PowerPoint, so take notes.
That was great.
It's the stupidest. This show is the stupidest thing ever, and I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything. But we're keeping an eye on Duran. Duran does have a media day availability tomorrow, so for Orange County FC. So we have a special activation for that as their games start coming up. We'll have tickets available. We've already connected with Orange County FC. We have discounted tickets to those matches to see the only player on the SDFC roster up in Orange County. We've been in communications with him, so hopefully we can also get that interview, just kind of talk to him. And I know he's been active on the sharing and then, you know,
he's been
in the
DMs
and stuff. Like it's interesting. It's
cool.
cool.
Lad for sure. USL season starts this weekend.
It does.
Orange County is heading to Sacramento
Yeah, so then they'll be coming home. At that home match, first home match, we'll have
Oh, they
tickets
have
available for
back-to-back
that.
away games against
100%.
Pittsburgh, and then their home opener March 23rd, Orange County. It's the day before the Chrome Ball Tour, so check it out.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
check it out. But yeah, so keep an eye out for Duran Watch. We're gonna be taking special care of that. Hopefully, our friend Alan Underwood also is prepared for that. For 2 balls Underwood, for that to make its return.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been missing the guy.
I missed the guy too.
Let's see. L in the chat. Who lost? Kim perdió. All right. So Chrome Ball Tour is interesting. It's cool. San Diego FC is marching on. Some interesting conversations that are happening around town. It was good, and this will be the only plug for the San Diego Soccers. It was good to see so many different supporter groups, all the supporter groups, be represented pretty much for STFC. The locals were at the Soccers match. The Brujos, Fronteras Ultras, the Riptides, 18th Battalion, and the Dago boys all were in attendance, and they,
¿Por qué no van siempre?
you know, people have different agendas and different times it can be available, different but I always extend the invitation to say, hey guys, use that as your practice ground, use it as you know, where you practice the songs, just make some noise and just get loud and get out there. And it was really good to see the different groups kind of coming together and getting a little bit of a preview of what that's going to be like at Snapdragon for SDFC. It was Star Wars night, so everybody got the chance to get a little silly.
Who are you supposed to be? Darth Sidious?
Huh?
Were you supposed to be Darth Sidious?
So I was actually supposed to also have a helmet, but timing wise, it just didn't work out. The second helmet was stuck in traffic, but even then, I don't think my head would fit in the helmet.
I don't. Yeah,
so then like Craig came over and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna go ahead and the helmet's stuck in traffic. We were gonna have to improvise. Here's a cloak." And that was a Darth Diabetes. Hey, we got the 18th Battalion. Soccer Star Wars night was really fun for some reason. We fit in. No, Star Wars night was great.
My gosh, that was amazing.
18th Battalion also, if Star Wars is mentioned, we're there. If soccer is mentioned, you should also be there, 18th Battalion. I challenge every one of those groups to keep going. And that's not even me saying that for
Abraham in the private chat, Tony the Hut.
Tony the Hut. Yeah, no, that is in the private chat. Feel free, si tienes los huevos, to put it in the main chat. A ver, Abraham.
Oh man.
That was Abraham. You're gonna fit in well, Abe.
That was amazing. I give you that was the funniest thing I've heard you say all day. Darth Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Pero ganaron los Soccers ese, ¿no?
Yeah, so Soccers won that one against Marco Fabian. It was a good night overall, but not just because I work for the Soccers, but as a community, like it's cool whenever they do come together, because that's going to be something that for those who may not know and are barely getting into the supporters game, there's stamina that needs to be built. There's a lot that goes down into it, and
unless some of these supporters groups don't want to go 90 plus,
I don't know if everybody's ready and has the fitness to go full 90, to go to all the games, those Wednesday games, because look, it was tough, and I really hope that everybody's is getting ready for it, because again, you want to represent the city well, and I know people who are going to be in the section will represent everybody well, but hopefully they get a couple of friends to support too, and have it be organic, like none of this like hiring just people, or just organic people who are there singing songs. Everybody is chanting at the same time. Doesn't have to be the same song, whatever, just make noise and kind of be a unit. So I'm really interested to check in with our boy Jerry Jimenez as far as how that side of things are going for SDFC in general, and what is he looking to do to help boost those numbers. So hopefully we can get him on out. I know everybody's incredibly busy at SDFC putting on these events.
You're invited to join us and promote it, man. Hit us up.
Yeah. DK, same thing. Paul, just kind of like opening that door up, because again, there is so much going on with them that I understand. Like, yeah, it takes time, but 100%. We'll keep an eye out for that. I'm gonna be playing in the halftime show for the San Diego Sockers. Get your tickets. My reigning undefeated streak will continue for a third year. Even though you're not on the other team, you're not going to be a participant. You just realize where your place is in this soccer relationship.
Yeah, I'll be covering the important match.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I have a job to do for the city. I have a record to defend.
As some would tell you, you sold out. What a journalist you are, working for soccer teams. Are you kidding me?
It's a different sport altogether.
That's your sport. That's down your alley. Buy some Recover. I think Alicia was saying 2 for 1 at Sprouts.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a deal you can't pass.
like, I don't know who. Like, tell the cashier, hey, 2 balls that Mike sent me. They're gonna be like, beep. What? Okay. Beep.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know how the word's gonna get back to
All right.
Recover, but tag them, I guess. Recover RX Recover Organic Hydration 180.
You know what's gonna be hilarious?
Yes, sir.
When SDFC has a full team, they have a couple of San Diego players, San Diego natives that have never seen snow, and they have to travel to Rio Salt Lake and play in a freaking snowstorm like LAFC had to do. Hugo Lloris was like, what the heck is this? Like, this was insane.
Oh, so this is how the match started. Like, this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, friend of the show, Nate Miller, Nate Miller time. Did I mention on there that we're gonna have him? Hopefully,
yeah, you
Okay,
did.
so
Former loyal head coach.
Former loyal head coach. One of 2, actually. Some would argue 1 of 1.
Yeah,
Because it was I always Landon. But this is how this game started. Oh, hey, Landon, you lost.
Wait, ¿en qué minuto se llenó de nieve?
So, like, let's see. This is literally a kickoff. 6 seconds. We'll let these highlights kind of play themselves out. By minute 5, by minute 6, it was already pouring down. I mean, I didn't see pouring, if that's the right term for snow. I've never seen snow,
No,
so I
seen it
wouldn't
now,
know.
No,
No, I haven't seen snow. Well, I know I have. I
Yeah,
did
you
a little
did.
bit.
You saw
a little
snow, you liar.
bit. It's not like this.
Oh, I've never seen it like that either. Then,
But yeah, so this turned into an authentic bowling alley of a match. Lloris, El Boy Lloris. You bring the orange ball out because you need to have it be visible. But
this is the only
Uh-huh.
World Cup winner in that roster, right? In the MLS besides Messi.
I believe so. But these are the challenges that they're going to be facing, right? Like, these are the challenges. And I think if you bring Scandinavian players who play in the Danish leagues, they might be a little bit more familiar with these elements. But if you get these players that are from San Diego, the academy in San Diego, well, you're not going to have a lot of kids that are going to be exposed to that sort of weather. In that match, 3-0, RSL ended up beating LAFC. Steve Cherundolo, the head coach for LAFC, respected San Diegan as well. After said, like, oh, this match shouldn't have been played. Like, this should have never happened.
Stop crying about it. They play in weather like this.
Yeah,
in England.
both teams played the same game.
Yeah.
Both teams had the same opportunity to win a match.
Talk about home field advantage.
Yeah.
That's what home field advantage gives you. If it's the weather, by all means. I used to have a coach when I used to play when I was a kid saying, guys, this is your fucking field. You know all the bumps on the grass, because there's bumps on our grass for sure. You know if the ball hits this bump, where the ball's going to go. This is your advantage. Same thing with the weather over here. Like, if they practice in the snow, man, by all means, it's going to pay off. It did in this game.
Look, man, we've seen the renderings of this academy that's happening. And, there was that groundbreaking where they invited some of the supporter groups out to put their handprints. We saw Paul out there. We saw some of the locals out there. Puma was in the fray. Some of the Riptides. But I don't know what kind of technology is allowed on como se dice, reservation lands. But if they have like giant snowmakers, and that's, they say screw the environment here, that's fine. prepare the kids that way and the future that way. But
Granted, it's only going to be 1 or 2 games that you play like that.
gotta stay prepared, Chiva.
Okay.
Stay hard. But yeah, so that's
¿Cuánto perdió el AFC? I think 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
3-0.
Should have
So
just forfeited the game.
yeah,
just
just
gone
exactly.
back to
Gone
LA.
home.
You would have done the same thing.
Exactly.
Same results.
But yeah, so that's gonna be something to look forward to. We're gonna check in with a little more MLS as it starts coming by. We're gonna compile some stuff and just kind of have like a kind of monthly check-in on that leading up to these games. And there was something that I was having conversations with our one of our good buddies, ESPN writer, during these Gold Cup matches, as far as like how like and we're covering this league. Like, it doesn't have to mean that we know everything about the league, right? Like, and he was kind of walking through about, some of the colleagues that he has where, yeah, no, like if you ask them what their knowledge is, they may know 5 to 10 teams rosters, not even in their entirety, and have that hand on the pulse. So it's not necessarily to get intimidated, because I'm not gonna lie, this MLS thing is kind of like, oh my god, there's 30 teams.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like there's so much to learn, and we're gonna be learning. But I think that as far as us and as we can, and I know that Abe will also help tackle this with the coverage of the other teams who's coming in as well. It's just focusing on STFC, being experts on San Diego Football Club. Football club, not football.
Football.
It's just making sure that we stay on that path and make sure that we are just kind of being the leaders in the space of San Diego soccer coverage. And I think we've done a good job there. And the San Diego Wave season is going to be a real test to make sure that we're coming out with quality stuff, coming out with things of merit. And I think starting with Casey Stoney is a good step. Is a good step in that direction. To have that sort of quality come by. Yeah, because again, it's just 2 dipshits in a garage. But at the end of the day, this is the best coverage that San Diego soccer has been getting, and we only try to be better. And if more people come out, then that's fine. Let's go ahead and let's build this community one by one. I think everybody would agree that that's what's best for business, and it's still fun. That's going to take us to the World Cup. The coverage of some of these players, some of these teams locally, San Diego la está rompiendo, and it's just a matter of really paying attention in Europe. I know 619 Soccer does a good job of identifying those players, both on the men's and women's side. The official coming back, she's her celebration is trending across the world. But overall, I think we're in a good spot. STFC 2025. It's less than a year from now. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah,
and I mean, that leads us to pretty much what our last, and we already talked about Brandon Vazquez and Joe Corona. So our last segment, everyone's favorite segment.
What's this? Rain on Wednesday at Snapdragon is predicted. So yeah, so
maybe under 10,000.
The San Diego Punto Football, 2 balls and a mic. Meteorologist expert has just let us know and informed that expect rain on Wednesday's semifinal matches. It can prove to be a slippery slope of gameplay, depending how it goes. So be prepared for that. San Diego rain has been weird. It's been cold. It's wet. Is water wet, Chiva?
No.
Why?
Because water gets things wet.
Good on you. Good on you. I didn't think you'd have such a good answer, actually. But that's good. Anyway, be prepared on Wednesday for that. What we have next is the last segment. The segment of Berkey returned today after being sidelined for months. That's good to see. Season's greetings to bro. You were watching Dune instead of 2 balls and a mic. I actually watched Dune.
I've never seen them.
It's 6 so far. There's 2 movies, 3 hours each almost. It's just 3 hours of setup. That's it. It's nothing groundbreaking.
Really?
Like it's.
Do you recommend it or not?
Sure, go watch it. It's good. Like Timothy Chalamet is all right. Zendaya is okay.
Zendaya?
¿Cómo se llama? Like Tom Spidey's girl. All right.
Spidey's girl. That's right.
It was good. Like the visuals are neat. But it doesn't get me out of my seat.
Did
Like,
it say
oh my
movie
god,
about worms?
yeah, that's a good way to put it. There, procrastinating Puma.
All right, definitely not checking it out.
Where
I
are
heard
those
it's
sales
good,
for
though.
Snapdragon? Keep dreaming. That's never going to happen. And if it does, I will. I don't know. Shave my eyebrows.
Oh shit!
Go for it. I will
Keep-
shave my eyebrows for the sake of San Diego's safety and under those UV sun rays in the summer and the canopies for
You know what? I hope someone that really does hate you. I don't know from where,
$100 million worth of
but
hate.
it's like, hey, I'm gonna put the money for this so I can shave Tony's eyebrows. I would pay $100 million to shave your eyebrows.
I'm not saying that Tom Penn hates me, but he can help contribute.
100%. All right, but yeah, we got a Juego Bonito. Everyone's favorite segment here. El Goal, Gaff, and Greats of the Week. Again, send your nominations, but for this one, we had a special. I think Tony already gave it away earlier, but we had a special Goal of the Week.
Oh yeah, and we can have it here. Let me see. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bam. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bam. Goal of the week. Well, not that one. As soon as he starts, you want to say? Yes, I did. Right there.
55-855 centro, 6-55 disparo,
Joe Benny Corona with first back on el Cholaje, his first start back at Caliente. Since what, 2012?
Yeah, no,
12 years.
It was a long time coming. And look, like, honestly, the question that I asked him about him still having legs is like, much like you retired Abby Dahlkemper, I almost retired Joe Corona at the beginning of his loyal stint. But un golazo, you just see the movement. You see the movement of that ball, just how it just moves in midair, never touching the ground until it kind of goes back.
The reason this gets Goal of the Week is because it'll be his last of the season as well. And it was a great goal, and Joe Corona deserves it. That's what he gets for not knowing what San Diego Punto Football Goal of the
Let me
Week
put
is,
that
all
back.
right? That's what he gets. You
So-
told him, hey, congrats, you just won San Diego Punto Football Goal of the Week. He said, I'm sorry?
No. Let's. We have a live reaction of Joe Benny Corona being told that he indeed won Goal of the Week for San Diego Punto Football. Here's his ecstatic reaction.
You won goal of the week with San Diego Punto Football. How does that make you feel?
Sorry, what?
You won.
Sorry, what? Let's do this again, Joe.
Sorry, what?
You won
No, Joe, you won Goal of the Week.
San Diego Punto Football. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really good. It's an honor to that's what he's saying right now. It's an honor to have won that. Really cool. I'm gonna tell all my buddies, all my friends, and go celebrate with my family this great honor. Well, thank you, Joe. Joe and Corona there.
Yeah, congrats, Joe, on winning Goal of the Week.
His performance in the Open Cup in Estilo might be the best game ever, says Abraham Zepeda.
Ow, okay.
Ow. In front of the White House on. Let me click on that picture. What's the date on this? January 6th, 2000. Okay.
What?
No. No, it's nighttime. That happened during the day. But no, so it's a really cool opportunity to see him still play at a high level, high enough to get the start, not high enough to win a game apparently because his team just isn't there. They haven't won a game this whole season. There's people with paper bags over their heads. People are embarrassed to be a Cholo fan at this point, but he's playing all right. So that was the goal of the week. I have that power just to award things right then and there. All right.
So that leads us to our gaff of the week. And this is a funny one. This happened just yesterday.
In the
MASL at Pechanga Arena. Nothing I've ever seen before. I don't think you've ever seen anything like this either. But the referees were on something.
Yeah, so you have Tavoy Morgan. You're going to see here
Saquen
with the Super
cabrones.
Saiyajin hair in the red in the box are already getting held. So I'm just going to let it play.
He's got two men around him, and he's threading one through, and then Morgan is caught, and that's Rosales down there, isn't it? And he's got him grabbing his leg, which is ridiculous, to be honest, and that's Salazar stepping in to try and support his teammate.
See the replay here. You already see.
Yeah, I know that voice.
Down. By the way, that's a pull down by Rosales. And then it's Rosales hanging on. Like, why are you doing that?
Shout out Craig Elston, the voice of the San Diego
So the
Sockers.
gap is not the play. The gap is the decision the referees decided to go with.
Yeah. So
when it came to
from that, let's see. Let's play a game. If you guys are watching here on YouTube, make sure you guys follow, because it is fun to be here. But let me just point out a couple things, right?
He's got two men around him, and he's
foul. That was already a foul. Why? Because his nipple was pinched.
Yeah.
Morgan's nipple was pinched. So but
the ref can't catch. That's hard to catch.
It's very hard to catch.
How is the ref supposed to
see? Look, the dark arts dictate.
Colmillo, vato.
The dark arts dictate that a titty twister is above board if not caught by the referees. So there you go. There's one thing there. He
one through.
Tries to come back up, and then he gets full Nelsoned down to the ground. This player is a 46-plus-year-old player, mystery age, 100%. Craig was saying, like, I've seen this guy play at 46 4 years ago, so he might be closer to 50, but he's just there to be an instigator. He's just there to gnaw at your kneecaps and get you upset, and that's exactly what happened.
Hell no, he's there to compete. He's there to win championships,
and then so Morgan, he's trying to get his foot out, but at the same time, like it looks like he's kind of kicking. So I can see why the referees, even on a replay, would think that that's some sort of kicking motion. But then he's just hanging on for dear life. Why are you hanging on to his ankle? What's going on? So, what are you doing?
Yeah. So the decision by the referees in here was a blue card to both players, to Boy Morgan, a Rosales, I think is
Rosales.
Wherein should have been maybe a yellow card for Rosales. If MASL rules, those of you who don't know, if you get a blue card, it's a power play for either team. They get an extra player advantage for 2 minutes. Yellow card, the player's out for 5 minutes, but the team gets to fill in that player as well. But yeah, this was just terrible refereeing in this game, and the Sockers were up 2-0 when this was happening, and this incident alone caused by the referees pretty much made the Sockers lose their heads and lose this game. So you can hear all about it
tomorrow on Soccer's Overtime. It's probably going to be at a time where it's 6. It's just Craig does have to do has to do a rehearsal for the Gold Cup because he is the voice of Snapdragon Stadium. I'm pretty sure and happy he's going to say Kaylin Sheridan.
Kaylin Sheridan. Yeah, Sockers for this
for this
game.
I'm gonna make that a drop. Why is he doing that?
Heck yeah. But yeah, the referees in the MASL get the gaff of the week for this one.
All right.
And that leads us to the last one, the great of the week. You had 2. You had 1, and I had
I agree with yours.
Okay. Jaden Reeshaw is our great of the week. 3 games started for the U.S. Women's National Team, 3 goals. Only player in history to ever do that. She's 19. She's balling out for the U.S. Women's National Team, representing San Diego Wave, and got a goal in this last game as well. Got a goal.
Versus 2
Argentina. Goals. So she's just been playing outstanding.
Local. I mean that's what the section is like. Who is just outstanding in this category, and she's been that dominant.
At this point,
here.
San Diego claims her as one of her own.
100%.
She's from Texas, but she's one of San Diego's own at this point.
The same Texas.
But yeah, Jaden Shaw just gets the grade of the week based on the performance that she's been putting in this Gold Cup for sure.
We need more fanfare for that. We need more sounds. But yeah, so Jaden Shaw is the grade of the week. If you have nominations for goal, gaff, or grade of the week, please let us know throughout the week. And we're definitely going to have those. If you score a goal, if your nephew scores a goal, if you have a score scored on you, send them our way.
We want to see
for the segment. This show's so stupid.
It's so
I
dumb.
love it.
It's dumb.
But yeah, so no, she is an absolute monster, Esteban. I completely get that. Gaff Otterall mentioned somewhere in Brazil, a player went down to waste time. The other one dragged off. Yes, and I think that's a component that I wanted to add is
Oh, I saw that.
anti-football. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Do you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. So the player got injured and he was out of the field, and the players in the team drag him on the field so he can waste time, and the goalkeeper takes him out of the field. So if that player was really hurt, I feel bad because he just kept getting dragged on and off the field. Whether he was just literally wasting time, that's something different.
La musiquita. So yeah, his teammate drags him back in because if you're injured on the field, you have to have assistants come in. The opponents drag him back out. He's like, what? He's trying to, maybe he is hurt, and then he gets helped back in
I
and
guess
just
he's
thrown
not that
down.
hurt.
I mean, after getting tossed around, maybe that's part of the game. It really is. Just yeah,
I love
time
it.
wasting. I love it. But yeah, so I think that's where we have for today ourselves some good laughs, some good smiles, some good seasonings to the boy Abraham Zepeda for coming in. We're gonna go ahead and definitely keep it going in that direction. Thank you for everybody who checked out his article on San Diego.Futbol. There's gonna be a lot more writing, there's gonna be a lot more content coming your way. It's getting serious here. If we want to make sure to do the coverage that this sport deserves in the city of San Diego, these opportunities may not be paid at all times, but we're here to cover the sport. Shout out to everybody who's in the comments. Shout out to everybody who
The Mojo
made it.
got their second win of the season.
Did the Mojo win?
The Mojo win.
The Mojo
The
win.
Mojo won.
Mojo Dojo.
Mojo.
Yeah, volleyball. All right. Season's greetings to everybody in the chat. May the force be with you and with you. Season's greetings with
Darth
you, Yoda.
Diabetes.
Darth Diabetes. Seasons, you guys are the best. Check us out. San Diego Football. Check out Abe_Cepeda on Twitters and everything that has to do with his writings. We're going to cover the Gold Cup final, semifinal here in Snapdragon. Check it out. Forever. Bye.
Have a good night, guys.